I'm Heather Hirschfeld, a professor in the English department at the University of Tennessee, and I'm here with 3 of my students to talk about the introduction to the new Cambridge Shakespeare Hamlet. As you know, Hamlet has fascinated audiences for centuries, but it also makes serious demands on spectators and readers alike. An introductory essay is meant to help make sense of some of the puzzles the play presents, like Hamlet's antic disposition or Ophelia's drowning. Now that you've studied the play for a while, I'm wondering what you want in an introduction and what elements of the new Cambridge Shakespeare Hamlet may have met what you were looking for.
So for me, the critical responses section was really incredible in this introduction. Being able to see what other scholars have interpreted and been able to pull from the play was incredible for my own way of thinking about it. And they do so through so many different lenses, cultural materialism, religious history, feminism. So grappling with things like that, for me, it was so much easier to develop thoughts about it, develop my own interpretations, having that scholarly foundation as kind of a springboard for what I'm going to think about.
Yeah, so I believe that having a grasp of the historical context of Shakespeare's time is extremely helpful. And that context can be social, cultural, or economic. For me, I was particularly interested in the English Reformation and religious issues of the time. And this introduction offered different accounts of how doctrines may have influenced Shakespeare. So knowing that context gave me a deeper understanding of what the audience may have known when hearing of the spiritual questions that the play presents. Questions regarding the afterlife and the complexity of the ghost.
For me, what's really important are the different Shakespearean versions of each play that actually comes out. For example, with Hamlet, we have Quarto 1, Quarto 2, and then the Folio. I hadn't realized that Quarto 1 was actually about half the size of Quarto 2 and the Folio. And these differences in language and length are they really impact how different audiences and different critics view Hamlet.
Yeah, I was blown away by how rich the performance history is and by how many different ways that the directors and the actors have chosen to play Hamlet and other characters like Gertrude and Ophelia. I also loved how, while reading, I was able to see these fantastic images of different adaptations throughout the years. And for me, I mean, especially the women that were playing Hamlet, because, I mean, that's the complete opposite. I mean, from Shakespeare's time, where men were playing all of the roles.
Exactly, yeah. Actually, in the introduction, Charlotte Shark, the first woman to play Hamlet in the lead role in the late 18th century, that really, really drew my attention. It wasn't again until the late 19th century that Sarah Bernhardt was able to play Hamlet in the lead role, where she not only directed and produced Hamlet, but she also got to be Hamlet.
Again, I think it's about having all of these different points of views, these different interpretations, these different takes on Hamlet. In the performance history, what really drew my eye was the mention of Jonathan Pryce's performance in the 1980s. He played Hamlet and also voiced the ghost in Act 1. So on stage, he would change his expressions and his mannerisms and his voice so that it was like the ghost was actually possessing Hamlet, which is not only impressive to think about theatrically, but also I think it gives a great nod to the psychological complexity of the play.
Focusing on that particular interpretation should remind us of the efforts that directors, actors, readers, critics have gone to think about this play in new ways, to participate in a big global conversation about Hamlet. And I'm hopeful that that this introduction offers others a way into it as well.